Are you a new gardener and don't know what kind of tools to use in your garden? Or are you an experienced gardener and looking around and saying, I wonder how he gets his garden looking so nice and neat? Yeah, right. That's not me. But I'm wondering, what would make my life easier in the garden? What kind of tools does Doug the Croc Gardener use? Hey, everybody. I am Doug the Croc Gardener. Today I'm going to go through and I am going to list some of the tools that I use in my garden. Kind of go over some things that I enjoy using, some things I don't enjoy using, but they're really handy because I just don't enjoy the tasks that I have to do with them. But we'll just go through some of the tools that I use, and we'll kind of go through and also do some of the tools that I got and that I don't use, or some tools that I've used in the past that I no longer need, just for various reasons. So let's get started. One of the first things I'm going to tell you that you should get if you're a gardener is get a good pair of gloves. I have a couple thin pairs like this, and I've also got a couple thick pairs of gloves. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, get several pairs of gloves because you'll lose them. Trust me. You'll get left somewhere, you'll put them down somewhere, and then you won't be able to find them back. So, yeah, definitely get yourself a good pair of gloves. You're going to be in the garden. You just never know what you're going to get pricked with. Really comes in handy when you're just grabbing a bunch of weeds so you don't get a prickly one in your hand. When I use it for my comfrey, because that stuff tends to irritate my skin. So definitely, first thing on my list is a good pair of gloves. The next thing on my list is a good trowel and maybe possibly a good rake. The trowel you're going to use for essentially digging up dirt when you're making your holes for your tomatoes. You're going to use this trowel when you're picking up weeds. Dandelions tend to have a long root. It helps you get down there with the trowel and dig them up. Digging up potatoes, you're gonna want some type of trowel or some type of shovel or something along the lines of that. So definitely get yourself a good trowel. The little hand rake comes in handy if you're trying to scoop mulch around, trying to loosen up the soil for some seeds like some lettuce seeds or something like that. This comes in real handy as well. These are just simple tools that you can buy off Amazon, your local big box hardware store. And they tend to last. Mine are all chewed up by a dog, but these things have been around for a while for me. One other thing that I got here that is a tremendous help, that kind of has replaced that trowel, is this hori hori. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this guy is awesome. It's got a blade on here. This isn't real sharp, but it does help if I need to get into something, open up a bag of dirt or something along the lines of that. It's also got a serrated side on here that I can use and chop down some of the heavier weeds that I got in my garden. Every once in a while I get those. This also helps to dig a hole. It doesn't dig as wide of a hole, but it does help to get down in the soil, dig a hole, helps with the weeding of the dandelions as well. So this thing has been a blessing in my garden. And it also has a few lines on here that I can use if I'm trying to measure something. For example, you want to put seeds 3 inches apart. Put one seed there. 1, 2, 3, next one. 1, 2, 3, next one. You can kind of use this for a measuring gauge if you needed to. The next thing else on my list is a big shovel. Sometimes you just need to have a shovel to move mulch around, dirt around. I would highly suggest getting yourself a big shovel. The big shovel comes in handy when you're digging up potatoes, like sweet potatoes or just your regular potatoes. It does come in handy in that sense. Sometimes you need to move your compost. The big shovel comes in handy. Your hands aren't going to come in handy. The hori hori's not going to come in handy. So sometimes you just need a big shovel. Along with that, sometimes you just need to have a wheelbarrow as well. Now I got a wheelbarrow I keep in my garden. I primarily use that for, yes, hauling compost and mulch, but right now my primary use is to chop up comfrey in that wheelbarrow. I take the comfrey, chop it down, put it in the wheelbarrow, and I chop it, and then I use the wheelbarrow to put my mulch down wherever I need it. So that is one of the advantages of having the wheelbarrow. If you have a wheelbarrow out in your garden, you could use it for storage. Take that wheelbarrow and put all your tools on the ground, flip the wheelbarrow over, you got a good rain guard for yourself out there. So just something to kind of keep an idea on. I would highly suggest getting yourself a wheelbarrow with a solid wheel. Don't get one that you have to air up all the time. Otherwise, you're going to just be airing up your tire all the time. It's really, really nice to spend a little bit of money up front and get yourself one with one of those solid wheels. That way you're just not messing. The next thing on my list that I use quite a bit in the garden is pruning shears. And I recommend you get a couple different kinds. This one right here is excellent for pruning tomatoes. If you're into pruning tomatoes and growing a single vine up, definitely get yourself one of these. It's nice and small, nice and tiny. Also, it's great for cutting jute twine and whatnot. This guy here, I use it for bigger applications. You can use it for tomatoes if you wanted to, but I use it for bigger applications like cutting off bigger tree limbs or brambles from the blackberries. So definitely a good idea if you're going to get yourself a set of pruners, get yourself a couple of different kinds. Again, I had to go look for these, so it doesn't hurt to have more than one set. Another tool that I just recently been using a lot in the garden has been a knee pad. I'm getting older. Everybody's in there getting older, I guess, as time goes on, and that's just a natural thing to do is get older. But using the knee pad really helps my knees whenever I'm bending over to weed the garden, harvest plants, different things like that. It really helps having something to knee on instead of kneeing on the side of the bed or down in the mulch. It really makes it more enjoyable to be out in the garden. Needless to say, these things are cheap. Go find yourself one. Thanks to Dale over at Old Southern Kitchen and Garden. Go check out their channel if you haven't checked out their channel. I'm assuming that if you're seeing my channel, you probably have watched them before. But he let me on to this nice little tool that I got right here. Basically, it's a weeding tool. It's got one end that you can use, get down that dirt and scrape the weeds. If you got those little small pesky weeds, this is excellent for that. It's also got some sharp rakes on there. You can just kind of rake up the leaves. It tends to get the roots and everything in there. So this tool right here saves me a lot of time whenever I'm doing my weeding. I would highly recommend you get one of these. I did get this off of Amazon. If I can find the link for this, I'll put this in the comments down below. But definitely a tool that I would suggest getting. Next tool I have on my list is something I use primarily one time a year. And yes, I did spend a little bit of money on it, but man, it does save me so much time and so much hassle in the garden. And that is my fence post driver. I know this is probably something that's not necessary. This is more of a luxury item, but this guy does wonders in the garden. Whenever I'm trying to drive all my fence posts in for my trellises, this guy makes life a lot easier. Highly suggest you get one of these instead of using a sledgehammer and try to line the sledgehammer up. This thing, you just put it on top and you just pile drive those fence posts in the ground. Goes in the ground real quick. It is a little bit of a workout, but it's a lot less of a workout than using the sledgehammer on the fence posts. Highly suggest you get one of these. The next thing I have on my list is a big shears for cutting down various plants and bushes. You'll use this at the end of the year, definitely if you're cutting down tomatoes and chopping and dropping. I use this throughout the year for my comfrey. Use it to cut down the comfrey and then basically chop it up into smaller pieces. So this is a big tool that I use, one of the most widely used tools that I use as well in the garden. Also on the list, very valuable tools, watering cans. I don't care if you got a sprinkler system or some type of watering system. You know, I still feel like you'll need at least one watering can for the garden. I usually use liquid fertilizer in my garden, so I have to have watering cans. This guy right here is an all metal one. It's about a gallon or 2 gallons, I think. I think both of these guys are 2 gallons. And I got a nice new plastic one here. Metal ones have lasted forever. I keep on having to put some stuff on the bottom because they do rust out a little bit. But I do like the rugged look of these guys. These guys are new. Top comes off so I can simply water close to something if I want. Or I could rotate this around and put this however I need it. These guys have worked out real well as well. I just got these off of Amazon. Another item that I would highly suggest you get is, and it goes along with the wheelbarrow idea, but is a gardening cart. If you have a gardening cart in your disposal, my house is way back there, and if I need to haul a bunch of stuff out here to save me multiple trips, I load up that gardening cart that I have and bring it out here. It saves me time I could be doing other things. I know it may sound lazy. I could be walking back and forth. Maybe I should have put my garden closer to the house. It is what it is. But saving me a ton of time is why I use that garden cart. So you can also use that garden cart to get all your stuff in one location, so it's not spread out to the garden. You just move that around to here, there, and everywhere else. It makes a huge difference. One of the last biggest things too that I use in the garden is what I'm sitting on, is a bucket. Now, I suggest you get one that has a lid on it, one so you could sit on it. Sitting down makes tasks a lot easier. I got this tall one here, and I also got a shorter one here that had a nice little padded seat on there, but the winds took it away this winter. But having the seat here makes a huge difference. As you can see, excellent spot to store all your supplies, your tools, a pair of gloves. I got little gardening clips in here. I got a garden knife. I got garden stakes. Got all kinds of stuff I store in here. These buckets make a very, very good welcome companion to the garden, just to be able to store things in. Highly suggest you get buckets. Buckets you can also use for planting potatoes in. You can use buckets for a container garden, carrying your water, carrying different supplies around in. The buckets are very, very versatile. Highly suggest you get some. Let's go over some tools that I no longer use in the garden, and I'll let you know why, mainly why I'm not using these tools in the garden. One, I don't use a big garden rake. I used to have one of these. I still actually have it somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at, but I don't have a need for a big garden rake anymore. If I'm gonna rake something aside, I'm just gonna do it in little spots, and I'm gonna put stuff right back over it. I like having the all natural stuff in my garden and putting stuff down in my garden. So big garden rake, no, don't waste your time on that. Also, garden hose. I don't ever use a garden hoe anymore. I'm not disturbing the soil that much that I need to get a garden hoe out here. If I'm weeding, I'm typically taking this guy and I'm disturbing just up to the roots of where I need to get in there. I have no reason to hoe up the ground that much anymore. I'm trying to make things less compacted in my garden, and by hoeing your garden, you're gonna get more compaction. So that's one of the biggest things that I don't use. Another big thing that I don't use, and it saved me quite a bit of money, is a big piece of equipment, would be a tiller. I don't have a little rototiller. I don't have a garden tiller in my garden. I have no need to till my garden anymore. If I need to get in here and I need to dig up stuff, I'm using a shovel. That's as small as I get. I typically have been adding things more to the garden than digging things up. So tiller I don't need. I don't have any reason to till. I just go through and I weed whatever I need to weed. I have a great way of keeping the weeds down by putting up a canopy with things. So the tiller, not needed anymore in my garden. Another thing that I don't use, that I do have, is an electric or battery operated hedge trimmers. Typically that would replace this guy here. I'm finding myself, it's just as easy to grab this and cut with everything. So I'm finding myself not needing to use that anymore. So if you're thinking about buying one of those things and think it's a good idea, I would not waste your money on it. So if you guys have any tools that you guys use in your garden, put them down in the comments. I'd like to hear if there's something I'm missing. I'm always out there looking around for something that's going to work great in my garden, see if I could use something that would work very well for what I need it for. So leave me a comment down below whatever I miss that you guys use that works out well in your garden. If you guys like what I'm doing here with the channel, please click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. It really helps out the channel, helps my channel grow, helps me reach new gardeners out there. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys would hit that subscribe button and help me grow. Cheers everybody, and God bless.